What's up everybody, this is Riso from C Manga and welcome to my review of Fairy Tail Chapter 415 and It Shall Become Your Will to Live. Okay, so wow, I did not realise that this arc was fully over. It kind of felt a little bit anticlimactic, to be honest, you know. It's like, I mean, you're telling me that the final battle in this arc was literally Grey and Natsu versus Mard. It's kind of like all that foreshadowing about End. It's like, yeah, we're going to defeat End. And suddenly it's like we're just none the wiser as to who or what it is, you know. Zeref just took him, walked off, that's it. So maybe later on we'll find something more, but either way now, nothing at all. But with all that said, I guess we did get a few answers about the dragons. It just kind of saddens me that, you know, we won't ever get to find out any more about them, at least in the foreseeable future. So it was pretty obvious that there's a few more questions that we have, but we still didn't find anything about them. All we kind of have left now is like speculations, essentially. One good thing that did come from this chapter though was that we did find out a little more about Lumen Historia. It's like the fact that it wasn't actually forgotten about like I thought, and it was just a thing of they didn't have the chance or like the guts to use it, essentially. So hopefully in the future we'll find out a little bit more about it, like what the hell it does. It's like it must be one of them kind of like press this button to fix everything kind of situations. It must be something like, I don't know, takes out all evil that's been unleashed. Because like the way the masters were kind of like reacting and talking about it, kind of seems like it has a really hefty price about it. So maybe, I don't know, Mavis used it once back in the day, and then that's kind of like, as a result, it turned her body into the crystal form that you see now. So yeah, it's pretty much all speculations, but that could be one thing as to what the hell it was. But good thing is, obviously, we did get to find out a little bit more about the dragons themselves, find out a few more answers into it. The one answer I did really like was that kind of how come Vicelogia and Skierdrum were still there, because obviously we're thinking like, oh yeah, we were thinking obviously Sting and Rogue, they were the ones who killed them, so why are they still there? So we're thinking, oh, maybe they lied about killing them, or they made it look like they killed them. In fact, it turns out that the dragons actually used a memory magic on those two, on the young Sting and Rogue, to kind of make them think that they killed their dragon parents. When you think about it though, it does really kind of make sense. I mean, those two were super young at that point. I'll probably say they're like the same age as Wendy at least. So, you know, they probably wouldn't have been able to handle the fact that their parents had just disappeared, and, you know, they end up like Natsu, Gajil and Wendy were just out there trying to search for their dragons, well, when there's just no point because they can't find anything because they're still alive. But yeah, the big reveal in this chapter is probably the one which annoys me the most, is the fact that the dragons were actually dead to begin with. So yeah, the reasons for them actually being inside their slayers were in fact to stop their dragonification. I know it's a really weird word, and also to kind of prolong their existence. So this kind of like little answer there is kind of making me think a little. It's kind of like so maybe that the 777 incident, it was kind of something like what happened in Bleach, you know, where Juha came back. So Agnologa, he probably ended up like doing something out there which ended up killing all the dragons so he can kind of return to power. So he absorbed all their souls to bring himself into existence again. Something along those lines. So, you know, the dragons, in order for them to kind of like prolong their existence and be able to exact some revenge on stop the calamity which they kind of feel responsible for, they end up possessing their dragon children until obviously they got the chance to take on Agnologia again. So yeah, it's kind of like, that's one little theory which I'm thinking, because obviously they're saying the fact that they're already dead, they don't have as much power, but they still tried to take on Agnologia. So obviously that's why Igneel failed. So maybe if Igneel was at his full power, he probably could have defeated him. But it does kind of make me think, like, why didn't all the dragons, once they took out the faces, just like band together and fight Agnologia as one? Because it looked like to me like they took out all the faces pretty quickly, you know. So if they all combined forces, they probably could have defeated Agnologia right there. But, you know, plot things, obviously, to make the plot advance and make Agnologia a final boss type thing, they had to let him live. So yeah, it just kind of like makes me really sad, because obviously I really want to know more about the 777 incident, like obviously how it affected normal people. For example, Lucy's mother. How the hell did she die on that day? What is going on with that? So hopefully maybe that the next arc or the arc after that, they'll do like some kind of like a turn back the pendulum, see what happened back then, just so we can learn a bit more about them. So yeah, obviously more questions have arose from this chapter, like what the heck is now going to happen now that the dragons are gone? So what will actually happen to the dragon slayers? You know, will every time they go into Dragon Force mode, will they slowly start retaining their dragon features until they fully transform, or did the dragons kind of leave a little something behind in them to stop the process, or will like the knowledge of them, or now with this new knowledge that okay, we're going to turn this into dragons and this is why we haven't so far, will this kind of make them search out for ways to kind of stop it. But yeah, all in all, I'd say this is actually a really, really good chapter. It just obviously leaves me a bit disappointed that I still have so many more questions, and it seems like obviously there won't be any answers until in the foreseeable future. So I don't know how this is gonna go from now on. You know, hopefully the next few arcs they won't just introduce some brand new villains. They'll do some kind of exploring, searching into like answers, like questions which we just have. So yeah, that's about it for this review, guys. You know the usual thing to do at the end of these. Let me know what you thought about the chapter in the comment section below. And as usual, don't forget to check out the other things to do on the channel. So I'll see you next time.